What is going on, nerds? Today I'm going to do a quick live stream to give you all an update on what is going on with Andrew Yang's mayoral campaign. We'll take a look at yesterday's press conference, go check out his Twitter feed, just kind of give us a little bit of a read on how the Yang for New York campaign is going. But before, we better get Andrew to warm us up. Warm us up, Andrew.
Drew Yang that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang hooked up. Yo, there's no place to hide now that he's arrived. I'm saying he ain't playing now with this campaign. Bang, dang, and Drew, come roll with the Yang Gang. Drew Yang that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang that's who I hooked up. Yo, there's no place to hide now that he's arrived. I'm saying he ain't playing now with this campaign. Bang, dang, and Drew, come roll with the...
What is going on? Hello, nerds. Nerds for Humanity. I am using some new technology for this stream, so I'm going to apologize in advance if there's some weirdness, but hopefully you all can hear me okay. And we're going to do a little bit of a reaction to Yang's, basically his campaign press conference, and we'll take a look at what is going on the Twitters. I know there was some discussion of his talk about bodegas and this and that. So hopefully you guys are ready. I'm going to make it quick because Mrs. Nerd was saying I'm streaming too much, and I told her the nerds want to know. They want to hear. So hopefully you guys agree. Let me just say hi to some folks in the chat. We've got Patrick Dunn. Hello. Cinema Seer. BTS. Harkins Aquatics. Landline. Elizabeth. So we got a lot of great folks here. Lukey. So welcome all. Let's jump right into it because I'm going to have to go to dinner soon. So I'm going to quickly jump over to, let's see, let's go over to the mayoral press conference. And I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing, but in case you missed it, we'll watch it together because I certainly haven't seen it. Let's jump in. Let's see if I can get this screen sharing working with this new system. I think that works. What do you guys think? Oh, look at that. I'm in the picture. All right, here we go. Hopefully you can hear it. Oh, they got some music going. All right. Oh, he's giving the elbow bumps. He's being safe. Appreciate that, Andrew. Oh, yeah, he's hopping. Go, Andrew.
New York City! I am so excited to be here with you all today. Socially distanced, no one's within, say, 10 feet of me. Masked up, and with my lovely wife, Evelyn, and our two incredible boys, Christopher and Damien. I am so thrilled to announce to you all that I am running for mayor of New York City.
Oh my God, can you guys believe it? He said it.
New York City is the greatest city in the world. And ordinarily, when someone says something like that, it's like a political talking point. But in this case, it is a fact. Am I right? And it is this great city that I have had the privilege of calling home for the last 25 years. I arrived here, I was just showing someone the building that I lived in when I first moved into the city in 1996, fresh out of college, on 118th in Amsterdam, not that far from where we are right now. And I remember when I moved here, I felt like I was joining the center of the world. My life's defining moments all happened right here. I got to go crazy in the garden for Larry Johnson's 4-point play. I walked north away from the towers on 9/11 like so many of us. My 2 amazing sons were born in St. Luke's, but that was a little bit after I had my first date with Evelyn, which is on Amy's Bread on 9th Avenue. You ordinarily have to...
So this is great. Basically, you see here he's basically establishing his NYC cred. St. Luke's, Amy's, whatever bakery, the sort of ball games. He's been here since '96, so off to a good start. He's basically saying, I get it. This is the greatest city. I spent decades here. My kids were born here. I fell in love here. I went to school here. So this is I am a New Yorker.
Have to have that first date before you end up a parent. But the kids were born a few blocks north at St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital, one of them during Hurricane Sandy. You all remember Hurricane Sandy. There were refugees from other hospitals that night because other hospitals were losing power while St. Luke stayed open. I worked with friends and colleagues for years to create startups right here in New York. I was fortunate enough to build and lead one of the top education companies in the country. That is the kind of thing that New York City makes possible.
All right, so here it's very nice. He's got the, not only am I a New Yorker, but I'm an entrepreneur, and I believe in the startup and kind of business creation capabilities of this city.
I founded the nonprofit Venture for America, which sought to help...
Oh, not only did I start a business, but I also started a nonprofit. So I'm not just a greedy business person. I'm also someone who gives a crap about people.
Other communities achieve some of the economic dynamism that New York has enjoyed these past years. And most recently, I launched a presidential campaign that not too many people were calling for before it happened, but turned into a movement with millions of Americans rallying around universal basic income and a new economy that works for us, the people. That campaign, too, was made possible by the support I received right here in New York. That's right. So it is here in New York City that my passion...
I like the new scarf, by the way. Also dropping the presidential campaign. I think that's good to kind of indicate, hey, I've got big ideas.
Passion for uplifting people, for wanting to move our country forward got started. And now that we are facing this historic crisis, I am aiming to unleash and channel that energy for a human-centered economy right here in New York, my home. I'm running for mayor for a very simple reason. I see a crisis and believe that I can help. Over 25,000 New Yorkers and counting have died from COVID. 500,000 at least have been infected. Elmhurst and Brooklyn Hospital were early national symbols of how serious this pandemic was going to be for millions around the country. 1 million New Yorkers are out of work, with a city unemployment rate double the national average. Whole sectors of the economy shut down. Hotels, restaurants, bars, clubs, Broadway, museums, galleries, all closed. The fears for our future that caused me to run for president have accelerated since this pandemic started.
All right, so this is a crucial talking point. So basically, this is very similar to the line of argument that we heard for the presidential campaign, which is compelling. And that is, hey, we have a crisis. I think I can help. I've got new ideas. And in this case, I think he has perhaps even a stronger argument now than he did when he announced the presidential, because clearly New York is in a terrible crisis, and they're probably looking for opportunities.
And these numbers don't even reflect how much worse Black and brown New Yorkers have been hit by this virus and its economic impact. The inhumane economy that we have all been struggling to survive in.
What was up with that weak sauce applause? This is a challenge with these socially distanced political events. Maybe this is why the president liked to just pack them into stadiums and stuff.
More punishing during the pandemic. The problems of poverty and economic insecurity that we have faced for decades have now been strengthened and magnified. And New York City has become the front line for our nation's struggles. We need bold ideas and a fresh approach to revive our city. We need to look forward and adapt to the economic challenges of today and the future. We also need a city government focused on competence and delivering for our people every day. It's a massive operation that requires a constant focus on management, on measurement, and results.
You know, one thing you got to say about Andrew is the man knows how to deliver. Like, he's not sort of reading in a kind of stilted way off of a teleprompter. He's really, the dude's very articulate and is able to convey a large breadth of ideas in a really coherent way. Super impressive. Great communicator.
So we need to break away from the politics of old. You know what I'm talking about? Where we are fighting over who is to blame and who failed to deliver, when in reality the people have been losing and it is tearing our city apart. We need to rebuild New York not as it was, but as how it deserves to be. And that is my pledge to you as mayor. A positive vision for New York City and a rational, progressive plan to implement it and make it a reality.
All right, so that's a key point there. A positive, progressive vision and a plan to make it a reality. So it's a nice little cocktail there. It's like, hey, I am not going to tear people down. I'm going to try and push progress forward and explore kind of progressive ideas, but I also have the details to make it happen. I like it. I like the combo.
We need anti-poverty programs, and we need a fact-based government that puts results over politics. The first part is core to what I've stood for since I started in public service. We need to make New York City the COVID comeback city, but also the anti-poverty city. As mayor,
That's
we will
new.
launch the largest basic income program in the history of the country.
New York as the anti-poverty city.
Right here in New York. We will lift hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers out of extreme poverty, putting cash relief directly into the hands of the families who desperately need help right now. This is the type of move that our city leadership must make in this pandemic. Cash relief is literally the difference between a family eating and a family going hungry. It's the difference.
Now here's where, I don't know what the New York voters are like, but this is where I would love to understand more where the funds are going to be raised, and of course how the cash is going to be dispersed and to whom. But one thing that is probably clear is that I don't know if many other New York City mayoral candidates are thinking as big as this guy.
Difference between being homeless and having a roof over your head. 2 years ago, no one would have fathomed Congress would ever directly send tens of millions of Americans around the country money with no strings attached. But last year, our federal government sent $1,200 to tens of millions of Americans, and it helped stabilize families and the economy. And $2,000 more may be on the way, New York. Calling for a vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks, which Joe Biden just endorsed, should be one of the first moves that new Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer makes.
All right, so this is a pretty long press conference.
The movement we built together.
So I wonder if he takes questions from the reporters, because that's probably the most interesting part. Now that we've gotten through the first 7 minutes or so, let's see if we can fast forward to if and when he takes questions.
My entire life. I'm going to be co-chair of my campaign
during an infection of the city of New York.
Oh no, I don't think he's. I don't think it's a
I am
Q&A.
And we need to do it together. I got to tell you, New York, Chuck
Okay.
Schumer, to get.
Interesting. So basically, this was a kind of focus on laying out his plans. You could find, I'll put a link in the live chat to the full press conference if you're interested. But I didn't want to kind of react to the whole thing. I think the TLDR is we got big problem. This is a great city. I love this city. The city is in crisis. It needs new ideas. I've got them. I'm going to make it happen. And, T-Dot says he does take questions after Richie Torres speaks, and Ethan says the same thing. All right, hold on. Let me see. Let me go back. Let me go back to that and see if we can go to the questions, because I'm down with the questions. All right, we'll go back to Chrome Screen Share, maybe this guy here. And then that is Intro 3. Boom! All right, so we'll see if we can find where these questions are. After the dude speaks.
Actually, the most vulnerable New Yorkers on the need for $2,000 stimulus checks. And is it good for the a performative?
All right. Is there questions? What?
Politics. Grandson.
I don't know. I don't think he's taking any questions here. Maybe that comes later, but this is on the Andrew Yang site. Let's see. Andrew Yang press conference. See if I can find another version of it. Well, here's the one on Fox.
For just $67,
I have
you
an
can
ad.
make as many videos as you want, and you never need to pick up a camera.
All right. Let's go here.
And when New Yorkers and policy, and I am honored.
I don't
to
know,
join
guys.
the
I can't find
grandson of
I can't find the Q&A. But if you guys want oh, Matt's video has a Q&A. So we'll go to Zach and Matt's. All right, must be Zach's. All right, let's go to Zach and Matt. Matt and Zach. Zach and Matt. All right, Andrew Yang. Let's go to Zach and Matt show. Please subscribe, guys, if you don't already. Check out the Matt show. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Speaking while I'm talking about other channels, Problem Solver Politics is one of the best Yang Gang channels. I just want to make that super clear. You should all subscribe. Check it out. They do great stuff. I've been on their show a few times. They've been on the Nerds show a few times. Go check out everything that you need to know. These guys are good. And Cody, you see that I have fulfilled my bet obligation. But let's go back to Zach and Matt. All right, here we go. Where is the press conference on the Zach and Matt show? We'll go to uploads. Here we go. Maybe here.
For just $67,
yes,
you can make as
love
many
these
videos
ads.
as you want, and you never need to pick up a camera or.
Turn the O2 into the O.
What?
Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, golly. Did we just get another ad in our face?
For just $67, you can make as many videos as you want, and you never need to pick up a camera or.
Amateur. Amateur live stream, my Tom. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Andrew, Richie, you ready? We'll
I guess
go
we're doing
Dave.
this mic or not. I guess so.
Go Dave, Sean.
And there are other questions I want to ask about. I'm not trying to be gotcha on this, but if you could just clarify some of the press that we've seen in the last couple of days about, A, you've never voted in a New York City election, and B, when the COVID crisis hit, you went to your second home in New Paltz. And lots of people in New York have second homes. I understand that, but do you see as your response and how you explain that to the New York Times that may have been insensitive to what New Yorkers have had to go through?
No, I feel.
All right, so the questions I think were around, hey, you haven't voted a lot in New York. And then the second one was, hey, what do you have to say about, how hard you said it was to work in a two-bedroom condo in New York. And I think his critics were saying, hey, a lot of people in New York have to live in that kind of environment. How do you answer? So let's see how old Andrew takes these. These are tough questions. Whoa, Jesus. Sharing so many different tabs. Sorry, guys. Again, I'm getting used to this this new software I'm using.
I feel very deeply in. Oh, thanks. Is that right?
Yeah, it's fine.
I feel very deeply and painfully what every family in New York City has been going through over this past number of months. And it's why I'm running for mayor. It's why I ran for president. I thought that my highest use this past number of months was helping Joe and Kamala win and helping flip the Senate in Georgia, which I think will have dramatic impact on what New York City ends up getting and New York State ends up getting from a unified government as opposed to a disunified government. So I think New Yorkers can tell that I've had my focus on doing as much good as I could in the time that I had, and that's why I'm running for mayor right now.
I wanted to ask about.
So, I'm happy to speak to this because this is interesting. I would definitely admit to being one of the approximately 87% of New Yorkers who has not voted in a local election over the last number of years. And it's because I think, like some others, I may have taken our local government for granted. But that was something that was happening during good times in the city. And now we're in the midst of a crisis. I think many New Yorkers feel the exact same way I do, which is that it's a crisis situation and we all need to step up and contribute and engage. And so I hear from New Yorkers every day who feel the exact same way I do. And I have a suspicion that some of them may not have participated as much in local politics.
All right, so this is a pretty good answer. This is basically saying, hey, no one votes in local elections. So don't try and put some purity test on me, because most real New Yorkers know that they're busy. And, I'm not that unusual because I haven't voted in a lot of local elections. So, I think that was a pretty good answer. It's a very confident one. He's not apologizing. And I think that was either very well crafted or it's coming straight from the heart. Either way, it was a great answer, and he handled it well. Let's see how he does with the other questions.
As some others.
I wanted to ask about QBI. You said that would cost $1 billion, but the city had painful budget cuts this past fiscal year. It's looking at multi-billion-dollar cuts in the year. So tax revenue shortfall in the years ahead. So how would you pay for this?
The reality is we're in a painful budgetary situation this year, next year, for a number of years. We're going to have to do multiple things at once. We can put $1 billion plus, and I'm going to say $1 billion is, to me, the starter for this basic income program, because I think we're going to be able to activate philanthropic resource and other resources to augment it. I actually know people who've already expressed interest in helping make New York City the anti-poverty city, so I think we can go beyond $1 billion. And if you look at the $1 billion we're going to spend on alleviating extreme poverty in New York City, we all know here in New York City that if someone hits the streets or someone hits our services, that costs the city tens of thousands of dollars a year, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, like all actually within the realm of our direct experience as a city when someone is on our streets. So if you spend a small fraction of that helping keep people in their homes and in better situations, we'll actually get a lot of that money back. Now, all of that said, we're going to have to do a lot of things at once. So one is we're going to have to get into our agencies and our city government and find inefficiencies. There are going to be some difficult decisions ahead, but we also need to try and grow our revenue. And I have some really exciting ways that I think that we can actually get some more money coming into the city's coffers that I'm going to be pumped to share with you all in a little bit.
You want to defund the NYPD, and if so, by how much?
I'm going to turn this. Sally Goldenberg from Politico. What's up?
All right, so that was the how are you going to pay for this question. And I thought he did a pretty good job. I think it was basically like, hey, man, I know some billionaires who are going to fund it, but also that if we spend the money, it's a potentially percentage of our total budget, so it's not like going to blow a hole in the budget. And there will be some long-term benefits which we will recuperate. Plus, I have some new ways to generate revenue that I'm excited to tell you about. So pretty good answer.
But I had a second question. The candidates are all being asked to weigh in on the SHSAT, and I would like to get your opinion on that as well. Could you talk specifically about the political law and just the policy for enrollment in New York specialized high schools?
So my kids are a little bit young for the SHSAT, but I do. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but whatever. So I think that the SHSAT should be kept and is an important data point, but I think that it should be not the only data point. I think that there are different ways that you can get information about a young person, their academic record, essays, their background and environment, interviews.
So this is an interesting question that didn't come up in the presidential campaign, so it kind of goes to show you how we're definitely into some local issues. This is around standardized testing for kids as they go into school, and something that Andrew knows a lot about as a parent and also as someone who started a test prep company or was CEO of one.
Can be utilized to build a better process. Because thinking that there's one data point that's going to measure a young person's qualities strikes me as a parent as incorrect. And so we can improve upon that process in a way that I think is going to serve the interests of both families and the city. No.
NBC.
Oh, wait a minute. I missed that question. That was, hold on. Let me see what that no.
No, both families and the city. No.
I couldn't pick up that one. Sorry, guys.
The city and the state need to be on the same page, and this is...
All right, so we could not make out that question, but hopefully the answer is going to give us a clue. It sounds like something about relationships between New York City and the governor of New York State.
A crisis. It's a crisis that's shared by everyone. If, for example, we get a Democratic Senate, that's going to help the city and the state. There are a lot of things that that the state and the city need to work more closely together on. I think that the less than
I got a super chat from John
and the state has been holding the city back, and I'm going to undertake to improve that relationship as mayor. I'm excited. I think that... So,
yay! Thank you, John.
I'm friends with Andrew's brother, Chris, from CNN. I think, I think we're going to get off to a really positive start.
Here's one.
Hi there. The congressman spoke to your independence from donors from others.
All right, so that was basically saying, hey, we're going to work together. I'm going to have a better relationship with the governor of with Cuomo. Then oh, look at that. That was like that. Wow, dude, that's so sweet. This just automatically happened. I love technology. So thanks, John, for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Will you be seeking public campaign finance and matching funds like other mayoral candidates?
We are planning to join the city matching program. I love New York City's innovation in this area, so we're going to be proud to participate. Moving.
So the last answer was, I'm going to have a better job dealing with Cuomo than de Blasio, I think. And I know his brother.
How do you win municipal control of the subway?
Well, this is one of the things that we're talking about with the city and the state. The fact is, a lot of the big things you want to get done as mayor, you need the state's support and collaboration. And so that's going to be a conversation that we have to have. But one thing I've seen is that when a new mayor comes in, typically they can get a few things done in Albany. And to me, that should be one of the things we try and get done.
You know what I say?
I think that as a parent,
You know, one of the good things about Yang is even if you can't hear the question, based on his answers, you can figure out what the question is, because he's not like other politicians that just like answers questions that he isn't being asked. He actually answers the question directly. I'm guessing his political consultants would probably tell him that he should do less of that, but I love that about him.
and my kids did take the G&T test. Neither of them is in the G&T program. But I think as a parent, it is generally bad practice to make a change and not know what's going to come after. So that's one thing, that as a parent you have some uncertainty, and then you end up feeling stressed about that uncertainty. My approach to the G&T test, even at that young age, and I confess.
By the way, Andrew's looking pretty good. I think he's well rested, so glad he's doing well.
Like the first time we brought one of our kids to take the test, I was like, test? Like, you know, the child is 4. Like that seems kind of early. But that said, I think this is a situation where the city has had this in place, and like it shouldn't be getting rid of it without parents knowing what's coming next.
Anyone who thinks that somehow my New Yorkness is in question.
All right, I think that was the last.
Say it to my face, and they'll see how.
I'm guessing that was the end of the press conference, because we just lost it, unless I accidentally went back. No, that was from Skidmore's. Let me just make sure one last time that I didn't miss anything.
California homeowners, do you have a power meter on the side of your house like this? If so, you can.
I really.
It's that easy.
Oh, come on! I need to upgrade to YouTube Premium.
This is amazing.
For Christ's sake.
I think that as a parent, and my kids did take the G&T test.
Okay, this is the G&T stuff.
About that uncertainty. My approach to the G&T test, I think this is a situation where the city has had this in place, and like it shouldn't be getting rid of it.
I think that was the end of it.
Anyone?
Okay, so that was the end of it. Great. So let me do this now. Hold on one second. Oh God, there's so much technology in front of me. Okay. All right. Let's take a break, because the screen sharing is nuts. I need to learn a lot of new capabilities, but I think the quality is better. Okay. So TLDR on the press conference and the Q&A. Bro, I think crushed it. I think he does a great job answering questions. You know, you see a lot of these candidates that are good in their bio videos, but then like they don't hold up well to questions. And, you know, those New York reporters, like, they don't mess around. And I think, you know, he did really well. So congrats to you, Andrew, for doing really well on that. Now, let's take a quick look at the Twitter action, because I believe there was some talk about, you know, it's a good way to kind of get a pulse of what's going on in the campaign. So give me a second while I pull up Andrew's Twitter feed, and then we'll just maybe wrap up soon after. Or, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And let me kind of remember my control. Okay, hold on. Let's see if this works. Boom. All right. We are on the Twitter page of the Yangster. Okay, he has his announcement video. We all watched that together in a previous stream. You asked me to get, if you asked me to get vaccinated at any time 24/7, I would be there. Yes, me too. Daniel Day Kim. I think he's like an actor. Wasn't he in Lost, or what the hell was he in? Something. But I think he's kind of a big deal. And it looks like he has endorsed Andrew Yang. So thank you, Daniel Day Kim. He's got a bunch of pics on his Instagram. Twitter is asking me to follow Bernie. All right, I'll follow Bernie. Yeah, I'll follow these other ones too. Sure, whatever. Okay. And then, this is funny. This is Evelyn putting a picture of their scarves and accessories. John Leguizamo. Wow, look at you, Andrew. All right, let's see if we can hear the video here. It looks like John shot a little video. Let me kind of get that more in screen so you guys can see better.
Hey, what's up, New Yorkers? Now, as you know, the past 10 months have been scary and difficult and painful for many, many, many of us. You know, many of our communities that
I can't listen to this guy and not think of the movie Moulin Rouge, but that's just me.
I care about so passionately, the Latino community, the Black community, the Jewish community, the Asian community, the gay community, theater community, all of New York City is my community, and they're hurting badly right now. Even with the vaccine, it's going to take a hell of an effort to get New York City back to where we were. But I do know one guy running for mayor who's got the ideas and the enthusiasm to get us there, and that's Andrew Yang. Like a lot of my fellow parents, I got turned on to Andrew Yang during his presidential campaign from my kid, who really wants $1,000 a month. And I said, sure, son, let me get
Who really wants $1,000 month?
And then I started learning a lot about Andrew and what he believes in, and suddenly I was 100% Yang Gang. That's right.
100% Yang Gang. John Leguizamo, baby. Woo! So now we got John Leguizamo, we got Daniel Day Kim, we got Dave Chappelle. I love it. We need Chris Rock. That would be great.
Yang Gang. Now, if anyone has the brain, the energy, and the empathy to bring New York City back, it's Andrew. He's got real plans to lift our communities out of poverty, to get people back to work, and to turn the lights back on Broadway and revive the entertainment industry, which I care deeply about. And you may be asking, why are you excited about Mayor Andrew Yang? What makes you believe in Andrew? Why is Andrew the candidate to save New York? What does New York need from its next mayor?
The candidate to save New York. I love it.
I'll tell you, because New York means everything to me, and Andrew Yang is a New Yorker.
I love it. Nicely done. So kudos to the Yang team for getting the endorsements racked up, man. That's serious action. All right, let's see what else is in the Yang Twitter sphere. Oh, Evelyn's been pretty active on Twitter. I don't remember her being that active before, but she's talking about bodegas are slicker. All right. New York City loves its bodegas. 14,000 are vital. And, okay, he's got a little video. Should we watch it? So he's getting some, looks like some green tea. Looks like Home Slice is getting some green tea, chilled beverages.
Breakfast the champions, some green tea, a banana. How you doing, bro? A banana, pretty healthy.
All right, okay. Now here's I don't want to be listen, I'm not going to be a hater, but you should avoid handling the bananas so much. Just take the banana you want, and ideally avoid touching the rest of the banana, or just take the whole thing. Again, I know he's he's just being a normal person, but got to call that out. Sorry, Andrew. I know you're a good man. Okay, he took the whole thing. All right, I take that back. Sorry, Andrew. Did not mean to be critical of you for manhandling the the whole bunch.
New York City relies upon its 14,000 bodegas so much.
Now, I will tell you that this place does look a little bit bigger and nicer than the bodegas that I've seen. It looks like quite a modernized bodega, but it is definitely a small business in New York, I would imagine.
I love bodegas, and we gotta make sure that they continue to stay open and do their thing. And keep the change. You got it. You're very welcome. New York City, support your local bodegas. Can you imagine a New York City without bodegas? I can't imagine it. Let's not have to. All right, see you soon.
All right, I like his haircut. Yeah, I don't know if I call it a bodega, but I think the spirit of it is he's trying to say, hey, New York has a lot of great little businesses. Let's support them. And who would disagree with that? Okay, then he's talking about what in the Sam Hill? New York residents have their donations matched 8-1. Wow. How does that work? Jesus. I don't know. It says New York City residents have their donations matched 8-1, up to $250 for city elections. Who's matching it? Oh, we got a super chat from Che. Let's see what Che said. Che said, more like for this video, please. Yes, I agree. Please, please like and share. In fact, let me give you a little reminder to do so. Hopefully that works. Yes, help a nerd out. Like and share this now. Ooh, Che. Appreciate it, my friend. All right, so let me move this down here so you guys can see better. All right, now we're going to keep going with... So, yeah, I'm not sure who matches 8-1, but that's pretty impressive that they do that. Then we've got the press conference. Article on CNN. Oh, shit. Sorry. I clicked on it. Article on CNN. That's nice. So the Yang media blackout is not in effect for CNN. And then Yang retweeting the Biden vaccination plan. So great that we have a president that cares about vaccinations beyond just talking about warp speed, but actually like finishing the job. Then we have a endorsement from Ron T. Kim, who I should try and get on the Nerd Show. Be great to kind of hear what Assemblyman Ron Kim thinks, but he endorsed Yang. It looks like he's from Queens. And then he's on the subway. Flack for hopeful Yang mayoral candidate hit for COVID retreat as he launches run. Well, you know what they say, no publicity is bad publicity. So that's him there. And then we got the bodega thing. A lot of bodega talk. More bodega. Jeez, he's like a walking bodega promotion. Oh, he's got plastic around the bananas this time. Interesting. He's always buying bananas. Then he's got stuff out in Flushing. So, all right. I think that's a good summary of at least some of the Twitter stuff. All right. So with that, I am gonna maybe I'll do some quick Ask Me Anythings. So guys, if you have questions for me, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll try and answer them before we wrap up. And then I'm gonna go have dinner with the family. Oh yeah, Dude, we got another super chat. Boom. Patrick Dunn says the bodega thing trended. He was criticized for calling a place a bodega. By the way, for all you super chat people, I haven't given you a bell. Let me give you some cowbell for the super chatters. Woo! Thank you for the super chats. You guys, that money, all the channel member and super chat money goes to this software that hopefully is a little clearer and is cooler when I do screen share, so it kind of gives that little carve out of me. And hopefully you find that it produces better content for you. And I'll get more fluent with all of the commands and stuff. It's a little bit more complex than the previous system I was using. And then also the money goes to, we are going to run an ad campaign on the David Pakman Show promoting the Nerds for Humanity channel. So that's exciting. So that's it. Yeah, question. Oh, we got a question from Tamar. Thank you. What do you think Biden position versus mayor run? I think it will be hard to know until after he wins and then after he actually has a successful mayoral term. So obviously if he loses, we'll look back and say, wow, maybe he should have tried to get on the Biden cabinet. Or if he wins, but then it's a disaster, then we'll look back and say, well, that wasn't a good call. So this one's hard to know. I mean, obviously Andrew's a pretty smart guy, and like you said, you know, we should support him on his decisions. He has more data and insight than we do. But my short answer is I am 55% excited about it. If you, in fairness, if he asked me, which he didn't, because we're not buddies or anything, although I do love you, Andrew, I would have said, hey, man, if you could get Secretary of Commerce or even SBA, maybe go for it, because you could do a lot of work at the federal level and the error cost is less. Like, I mean, whereas if you become mayor of New York and that place goes sideways even more than it does now, then that would be tough to recover from. Okay, so that is, oh, Charbox likes the Melon app for live streaming. Okay, yeah, I'm trying Ecamm, but maybe I'll try Melon app later. Okay, here's another question. How many people actually vote in mayoral primaries, and how big should we expect the turnout for Yang's race? That's a great question. Let's see. New York City mayoral primary 2017? Would that have been the last one? Let's see. Oh, look, we can actually pull it up. So let's do, what was the shortcut? I'll know these things better after I do it more. Oh, you gotta like that. That's pretty slick, guys, huh? All right, so 2017. Let me do this. Let me move my face. I'm in the way. I'm gonna go over here. Okay, so 2017 looks like de Blasio obviously won with 326,000 votes. Wow, he crushed it. Even though they hate de Blasio now, he certainly did better than the other ones. But in total, it looks like 400,000, like, you know, only about 450,000 voters. So I'm guessing the winner is probably, you know, and there's so many people running that the winner probably, if the winner gets like maybe, I don't know, a couple 100,000, they'll probably be good enough. That would be my guess, since there's so many people running. So to answer your question, way fewer votes needed to become the Democratic nominee of the New York City mayoral race than you need to win the nomination for president of the United States. That's for darn sure. Although, I think if you compare that to, let's say, the Iowa caucus results 2020, and we see here, that's no what we want to see. Where the hell is the actual votes? They don't say. Hello, let's see. No. Sorry, guys. I thought I could find that out really quickly. Hold on. Let me do this. Let's go Control 2. How many people participated in Iowa caucus? They were 171,000 that participated in the 2016 caucuses. So to answer your question, oh yeah, and on the first vote, Bernie got 50,000. So certainly way more that participated in the New York mayoral race than in the Iowa caucus. Obviously, Iowa's a pretty small place. But I guess the difference in this case is that Yang's number one. Andrew Yang is number one. So right now he's in the lead. But it's to answer your question, he needs a couple 100,000 votes. Okay. Any other questions? Question. Do you know if Beto and Delaney endorsed him? I saw that they tweeted support, but didn't see any explicit endorsements. You know, it's interesting. It's possible that they are spacing out the endorsements, that they are trying to make sure that they don't share all their good endorsement news in the first day. Because as a reminder, the New York City mayoral primary is, I think, in June, if I'm correct. And so you kind of want to, yeah, it's in June. So you want to kind of have these endorsements come out over a period of time. But that would be I would not be surprised if he's going to rack up a ton of endorsements, including what would be the bomb is if Joe Biden gave him the endorsement. That would be awesome. Will the Yang Gang be able to help Yang even though I don't live in New York? I would imagine so. I mean, obviously, he could take your money. You could do phone banking. You could do text banking. So, yes, Yang Gang can definitely help. The other thing you could do, Yang Gang, as a reminder, is that New York is a ranked choice voting city. So please, if any of the other candidates talk trash about Andrew, of course we should defend him if it's unfair. But the other thing that you may want to think about, ooh, look at that. Wow, all these cool features I'm discovering. Is try and be kind to the other candidates, because Yang may win by not only getting the most number 1 votes, but also like the most number 2 votes. So if the Yang Gang comes across as like, and which we are not, but if we come across as obnoxious or aggro, the way supporters of other candidates may have been in the presidential campaign, then that will actually hurt our candidate. So let's be very humanity first with them. All right. Tamar, I think, is a comment, not a question, but New York City mayor has more autonomy and problem solving versus DC gridlock. Oh, in terms of whether it was a good call for Andrew to go for the New York thing instead of the Biden thing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he certainly has more autonomy. It's higher risk, higher return. I mean, if he can get stuff done in New York, it's going to be a huge feather in his cap. And if it goes sideways, it'll be really hard to recover. But, you know, I like Andrew, man. He's not afraid of taking chances. Let's see. Oh, T.T is saying the role he might have been offered was more of a tech role. And he probably said, nah, I don't want to be your tech guy. Which I don't blame him, because unless you're going to give him a huge budget, just being like a tech policy advisor is not going to be that great. Okay. See if there's any more questions. Is your brother thinking of starting his own YouTube channel? Actually, that came up as a conversation. And he says, oh, it's stressful. It's too much work, which it can be stressful. It can be a lot of work. But he is going to be a regular guest on the Nerds channel. We're calling it MAGA Mondays. I don't know if we're going to do it every Monday, but we'll see. And I told him that I would give him half of the Super Chat money. As you guys know, all of the money that you give for me through membership and Super Chat goes directly back into the channel. I don't use any of it for personal use. It's all to promote more content, better content, grow the channel, get better guests. But for MAGA Mondays, I will give Peter half of the Super Chat money. And he said that he likes to come because he doesn't think that he can convince me, but he still comes on the show, and you know, it's good to trade ideas. Let's see if there's any other questions. They want an endorsement a day, according to Ethan. Yes, I agree, Jamie. If he didn't get the job, he should get an endorsement. And I've seen some polls saying that a Biden endorsement and a Harris endorsement would be meaningful to New York City voters. Yes, Dr. A is a good reminder that we need to be humanity first with our fellow folks who are thinking about voting in this campaign. So just definitely remember to do that. And I'm going to see if I can make this a little bigger. Yeah, look at that. Oh, this is cool. I have so much flexibility with this software. Oh, Vaughn is saying to give your donation to a New York resident to donate it for you. I don't know if that's allowed, Vaughn. I'm going to refrain from promoting that, but I appreciate your creativity. Let's see, any other questions? Yes, doctors say you can yang your New York family and friends. You can encourage them to donate. Yes, that is kosher. That is kosher. All right. I think we got through most of the questions. All right, guys. I want to thank you. Oh, before we wrap, I also want to do this. I want to give a shout out to all the Nerds for Humanity members and see if I can remember the keyboard shortcut. I can't. I think it's... let's take a chance. Oh, yes, it worked. Oh, I gotta love it. I gotta love it. Okay, hold on one second. This green screen is... Okay. So, let's thank Kristen Slevin, our Executive Vice President of the channel. And if you join the channel while I'm saying this, I will definitely give you a big cowbell with a gong. All right. Let's see. Hit that join button, folks. Vice President. We have V. Let me get this a little bigger so you guys can see their names. V, JM Sap, Fat Lamb Soldier, Laura Lane, Joshua Frick, Patrick Dunn, Bike, and Mindful Skeptics. Thank you very much, boys, for Mindful Skeptics. And then at the hardcore level, we have Mike, Gene, David, Tracy, DK, Landline, Phoenix, Jekkalego, Kirsch, Mr. History Fan, Byron, Mona, Susan, Yang, Robert, Dean, Stat Nerd, Galessa, Jalesa, and Jay Perrin. I think it's Jonathan, if I recall correctly. And then at our entry level, we have Helen, Lisa, Sugar, Albert, Brandon, Yes, Brian, Peter, Arez, Your Mammon, Sophia, Jadwiga, Gail, Shake and Mike, Doris, Emerald, Nell, Lori, Ben, Roger, Lisa, Christina, Vaughn, Tony, Rasta, Ryan, Jessica, James, Jalopy, Emma, Joel, Spirited, Hui, Stephen, Ira, Shoni, Philip, Jameson, Ender, third, Dr. A, and William Bustos. So thank you guys for being such great supporters of the channel. Whoops, wrong keyboard shortcut. How about this one? Oh, son of a gun. I'm completely clueless. now just clicking on random things. Oh, it was Control 2. All right, got it. All right, so duders, have a great weekend. Tomorrow, oh, let me tell you something. Tomorrow, I have a super awesome panel on the Nerds channel tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And if you are interested in star voting, ranked choice voting, approval voting, I'm going to have 3 experts talking about each of those pros and cons. How do we move forward? What states are going to be most likely to flip in terms of embracing election innovation? And the people that are going to represent each point of view, we're going to have Aaron Hamlin from Election Science on approval voting, why he's a big fan of approval voting. We have Catherine Gale, who wrote the book The Politics Industry, who's going to make the case for top 5 open primary ranked choice voting. And then we've got Sarah from Star Voting to make the pitch for star voting. So if you are interested, go check that out. And also, don't forget for this stream to like, share, and subscribe because it helps the nerd out. Yeah, just do that. Do that. Appreciate it. Oh, we got a super chat. Samari Lorenko. Oh, I promised. Woohoo! I appreciate it. I can't wait. Maybe we'll have to buy another ad on David Pakman. I told him I could only afford one. Well, because I can only afford one. But, you know, if we keep getting the support from you nerds, we're going to be doing more. All right, man. Have a great weekend. Women, men, women, children, nerds. Enjoy. Click the join button, and I'll give you a shout out on the next one. Keep it real. Bye, nerds.